Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I am your host, Josh. Corey has the night off. He's off doing adult things, like, closing on a house. We're very happy for him and his wife. But,
Claps.
fear not, for I have recruited from the bowels of the internet, from his deep slumber, we have awoken the master of bagels and cheap-ass ramen noodles, Joasis.
What's up? What up? I'm back.
We're
Back in the-
we're all on a bagel kick right now.
Exactly.
So we just spent 20 minutes talking about bagels and Italian beefs before we got on here. So I'm expecting Jeremy Allen White to bust through my front door any minute now. Joe, how's it going? It's been a while since you were here last. I've been promising the people we would get you here.
I'm here. I'm ready.
You're here. You're here. You're ready to
definitely
party.
haven't been solely playing Baldur's Gate for the past two weeks, and
oh my god, at some point this spring we're doing Baldur's Casuals, and I just need to have the time and the finances to be able to get to it. Also a platform that supports Steam, so it's kind of a trifecta right now, but we're hoping to get to that soon. Joe is here, of course, because we've had requests to talk about the surge in popularity of bows. Joe has a list of his top 5 prepared for us. He's ready to talk about Tyranny of Heaven. We're going to turn all that. We're going to turn it all over to Joe here in just a minute. Let's we got to start the top of the show off, and I really hate that we're having to do this like every week now. It feels, but this is a pretty big topic, and we won't have an Xbox Casuals for another couple of weeks. This morning, we all woke up to the news that Xbox, fresh off of its acquisition of Activision Blizzard, is laying off 1,900 employees across Activision, Blizzard, Xbox, and Bethesda. Most notably impacted is Blizzard themselves. We've heard that entire teams have been cut, including about a third of the Overwatch team is now gone. The entire team that was working on their unannounced survival game that has been in development for 6 years and got the fucking can. Not the first time this has happened with a Blizzard game, by the way. I think we all remember the Titan incident from 2007 to 2012, which eventually became Overwatch. And then I think almost all of their customer and community support at Activision has been axed as well. In addition to a lot of the team that handles physical media distribution for Xbox themselves. So just a wide range. The 76 team got hit at Bethesda pretty hard. The remaining 76 team, that is, down to like the community managers. So just not a great day. This was always one of the concerns with that big of a purchase, that big of a merger. You're going to have roles that overlap. But 1,900 is egregious for a company that was just valued at $3 trillion earlier this week. There's no way.
That's only like, didn't it say that was only like 9% or something?
Yeah, they cut 8. They cut 8%. They cut 8% of Xbox's total staffers. We knew that something like this was going to happen. Blizzard themselves, I believe, came in with like 4,000 employees when they were purchased. We knew there were going to be cuts of some kind. There's going to be redundancies, but man, I don't understand how you have so many games in the online gaming era, and you decide you're going to cut customer and community support. I don't know how you decide to cut any of these people when the industry is as volatile as it is. So that is hot on the heels of, we got the Riot news last week, and then kind of flying under the radar, we had lo and behold, Embracer cut more funding to another studio. They've laid off half of the studio that is working on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin game over there. Found that one out right before we started. It is not good. We're already up to 60% of the total jobs that were lost last year, which, if you remember correctly, came out at about 11,000 jobs. We are already up to 6,000 that have been lost in the first 3 weeks of this year. In this industry. So while we're heading for another probably record-breaking year in terms of quality titles coming out, we're also heading for another record-breaking year of job losses. I don't know how you're a young person and like in college or like in high school and you're still wanting to come make games.
Yeah, like not thinking about etching majors, and like it's just such a shame because like all of
It's
these
fucking
people
shitty.
are putting so much work and like passion into making these special moments essentially
Yeah.
in like trying to make like something that's going to have an impact on a person's life, and then you
Yeah.
just see like it get stepped on with a boot. I, I, it's crazy.
I've been
Like
talking with a few friends in the industry, and
it's
like
nasty.
they really feel that like layoffs like this, and like what Twitch went through, and Unity, Epic last year, Riot earlier this week, that like all these mass layoffs that are happening are just going to something's going to snap, and the industry is going to start unionizing. And
Yeah,
like you guys have been listening to me long enough, you know how I feel about it. You know that I'm 100% pro union. That I think that I think that the gaming industry needs the protections that the guilds offer when it comes to movies and TV and whatnot. That I think that the exact same thing needs to be happening here. Um, it's a fucking shame that we have to keep opening the show like this. And also, if you ever notice, like every company, it's always 8% or 11%. That's unless you're Embracer, then you're just closing down whole ass studios. But it's
yeah,
always 8% or 11% is what you're cutting. Always. It's just it's fucking egregious. I can understand some redundancies, but I can't ever understand 1,900 jobs. That
like
is
all at once. Yeah,
all at once. Among those ousted are one of the co-founders of Blizzard, and who was like one of their chief. I think he was like their chief design officer or something. He's been ousted, as well as Mike Ybarra, who was studio head over at Blizzard. Formerly was at Xbox. Joined Blizzard several years ago. Back in 2017, 2018, I think is when he went to Blizzard and was made the studio head. In wake of all the sexual assault and harassment allegations that came out in the lawsuit against from the state of California. If you remember correctly, him and Jen O'Neill were appointed as co-studio heads, and she quit after 3 months when it was revealed there was a massive pay discrepancy between her and Mike Ybarra. She is off creating her own. She's established her own studio with ex-Blizzard developers. And Mike famously a couple months ago said that I have no intention of leaving. They'll have to drag me out of here. Like, this is my dream job. They'll have to drag me out. Well, Jason Schreier not so subtly pointed out that he was either asked to resign or was told he would be fired if he didn't. So they're clearly cleaning house over there of executives, as well as just like anything that they can, the accountants can point to on a spreadsheet and say we can save money here. This is the Bungie layoffs, but on a much more massive scale,
yeah.
unfortunately.
It's like the yeah. That's
Yeah.
it's a shame that they see these entire aspects of honestly what makes certain studios special as expendable.
Yeah, they see people's lives as
Yeah,
expendable, essentially. And
it's
that
insane.
is just I'm over it. I'm fucking over it. So, all right. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. God, I almost called you Corey. Um, let's
I
shift on
just bought a
into
house. Hey.
some news that's not as depressing, but still isn't great. With this week's TWAB. Uh, the TWAB this week. What a catastrophe. Riven's wishes got revealed. Oh boy. Okay.
Thing we all wanted.
I think this is the silliest goddamn thing, but Riven's Wishes. Starting on January 30th, players can visit Marasov to accept a weekly quest with a high-risk objective in the Dreaming City, such as completing Legend Lost sectors or dungeons. Upon completion of these weekly objectives, players can return to Mara to receive a wish token. Each week, you can use this token to choose a prize from one of 3 different categories. Category 1, Last Wish Resonance. Choose a red-bordered Last Wish weapon. I wonder if they're actually. I guess they're gonna let us choose what weapon we want. If it's randomized, I'm gonna be furious.
If we get to choose Tyranny of Heaven, but we'll get to
Yeah,
that
there are
later.
some notable weapons in here.
We'll get to that later.
Supremacy, the Supremacy sniper rifle, the Transfiguration scout rifle, Apex Predator rocket launcher, Shattering Bone Pulse Rifle, Nation of Beasts Hand Cannon, Techian Force Fusion Rifle, Tyranny of Heaven as the bow, and Age Old Bond as the auto rifle. There's a few good ones worth getting here. Of course, Tyranny of Heaven, as Joe just pointed out. Apex Predator has been the go-to rocket launcher for a while now. But the fact that Bungie themselves is pointing out Apex Predator probably means it's about to get nerfed. Techian Force, I know some of our friends like Techian Force and Age Old Bond. There's some good options here. I would say that there's an equal representation of weapons that you should probably get and weapons that you should absolutely stay away from.
Oh yeah, and the one a lot of people don't say a lot. Supremacy can get like 4 times the charm rewind rounds. You could shoot your whole ammo and it never have to reload. It's kind of great.
My problem with Supremacy is I have so many other sniper rifles at this point. Like, snipers just aren't that good. I mean, in PvP they are, but in PvE they're not good. It's really hard for me to recommend that people go and also, like, I think, well, this one is craftable. I was gonna say, well, the others are craftable. No, I'm fucking stupid. These are craftable too. I think this would be a bigger deal that you could choose from if it would just auto complete a pattern for you on these, right?
Yeah.
I think that only because it takes 5 patterns to complete one of these weapons.
You
So
can only get one a week. How many are you like? That would be a lot.
I mean, yeah, there's only 6 tokens that I think you can pick up total, frankly.
Yeah.
Which is just silly. So, oh boy, you can get a whole pattern and then one of another weapon. Love that for us. Category 2, exotics. Choose a piece of Lightfall Year exotic armor. I think this is really good for those of us who don't play nearly as much as, like, well, if you're listening to this, you probably play enough to have gotten all your exotic armor. Let's just be totally honest. But there are 4 pieces of armor for each class that you can go get. Among some of the ones that you can get are the Mothkeeper's Wraps and the Triton Vices for Hunters. The Pyro Gale Gauntlets for Titans, Abiant Leaps for Titans, Swarmers on Warlocks, the Briar Bands, Cenopath Mask. This is probably where you're going to get the most bang for your buck, is right here. If you have been struggling to find a Vex Strike Force event or to do the Legend Lost Sectors, this is probably your place to go. I think for all, they don't clarify, as far as I've seen, they don't clarify that you can only do this on one character. So I will actually be running in and doing this on multiple characters for shits and giggles.
3 a week is actually pretty good. Because
3 a week, 3 a week, I
3
think makes this a lot better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think that especially in terms of that, in terms of the red borders, that's 18 potential red borders you could be getting. That's enough for 3 patterns and most of a 4th.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna be checking that one out when it goes live on the 30th. I want to know, because if it is gonna be like that, then I'm gonna go in there and just farm red borders. But this is a really good opportunity for you to back up your alternate characters with exotics here. And then you've got the they call it miscellany, which is really funny to me. The Lost and Dawning Mementos, or you can get an exotic cipher, Ascendant Shard, or Ascendant Alloy.
I'm cool with this because I actually never picked up a Dawning Memento. I never finished the quest for it, so.
Oh, really?
Be kind of perfect for me, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like that they're including the mementos here, but it also, like, just shows you the disparity. Like, the black memento was cool, but God, that Dawning one is so much better.
Yeah, icy boy.
It's so much better. I still think it's dumb that you can only hold one at a time.
Yeah, they gotta up that shit.
I feel really bad for anybody who thought that this was going to be something substantial. I think some of us, myself included, had started to fool ourselves in thinking like, "Oh, this is going to be something." And then when I saw somebody post about it in Discord, I think it was Titan who posted about it in the Discord earlier today. I was like, "Oh man, never change, Bungie." There realistically was no way you were going to make something substantial in like a 6-week period. But it's still a shame. It's still like, Okay. Well, what else are we supposed to do here? Like, this is something that very plausibly could have just played out at the end of the season for us to take us up through the final shape. But like, this is what's supposed to keep engagement up into March. Um, okay, this takes us through like the beginning or middle of March. I personally think you should just be able to get a token every single week until the final shape comes out. What harm
That
is it doing at
would
that
be
point?
sick. Yeah, I don't
And
think
I
that
do
would be
wonder if they're
bad
going to
at all.
revisit that. I certainly would at this point. I think it should be under advisement because what else do you really have going on? Like you need to do that. You need to do like I don't know, do some sales in the Eververse. Like everything is half off for Bright Dust this week. Do like a mega sale. We know we're getting extra XP weeks. I'm pretty sure they're doing a double trials week at some point. Like those things are cool, but you need reasons for people to come back and play. And I think that throwing red borders from raids out like candy, like do a week where or announce like, oh yeah, the featured raid for each week, the one in the rotator is going to give out
Double
double
red
red
borders.
borders.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's going to give
yeah,
out double red borders or like
yeah.
double the chance at the exotic or something. Like
Or
the
and I feel like they should add in like the jackpot aspect of that and just give you like a really slim chance to get a pattern. So like you could get lucky and get like all five that you need or whatever
yeah,
to like
I th-
everything. I think that
yeah, you
that
got
would
to
be
do
good.
you got to do something. I think those would be ways that would make this more exciting. Like really lean into the wish aspect of it, right? Like
Oh
take it
yeah.
beyond just interacting with Riven once a week. So
Speaking of which, when they call it a high risk objective, what if I die? Am I gonna have to like give my social security number over or something?
I don't know. I laughed when I read this.
A
A high
high
risk
risk
objective in the
objective.
Dreaming City. And so it's only Dreaming City stuff. So Legend Lost Sectors or the
Shattered Throne.
Shattered Throne?
I could moonwalk that shit solo in like
I
15
just
minutes. I got this.
and you know it's not going to be anything too hard because they want everyone to be able to engage with this.
Yeah,
So I don't really
I'll
care. Like I'll do this for my
speedrun that
free
shit in
red borders. I'll
10
actually
minutes.
level my other characters up so I can participate.
Yeah.
This will be the first reason I've had to do that in a
Titan
couple of
Josh.
years. Do what?
Titan Josh out here.
Titan Josh, in fact. Yeah, since they changed all the Crucible ranking stuff, I haven't needed to bring my Titan out for Mayhem lately.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Moving on, we've got Moments of Triumphs coming back next week as well. 30 challenges, celebrating everything you've been able to achieve this past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to the 26 you'll need to earn the seasonal title. Along the way, you'll also earn some event rewards, including the new Laurel Shell for your Ghost, the Fire Guilt Quadriga Sparrow, and access to purchase the 2023 Moments of Triumph shirt. You can earn these rewards by completing the following. 5 Triumphs gives you the t-shirt. Jesus.
There's a dragon on
14. 14 gives you the Laurel Shell, 21 gives you the Sparrow, and 26 Triumphs gives you the Seal title and access to purchase the title pin. I actually think that these rewards look pretty decent.
it. Yeah.
But the Sparrow and the Ghost look like something that belongs in Guardian games more. I will point out that you can clearly see the insignias of all of the factions that the Vanguard is aligned with. You can see the
Oh yeah, the Cabal or yeah,
you can see the
the Cabal.
Cabal insignia, you can see the Elixni, you can see the Vanguard, and you can see the Guardian insignia all on it,
Yep.
as well as flags representing each of the 3 major factions on that and on the Sparrow. They are available to view in collections. They've been in there since the beginning of December. Um, the shirt, I think, is kind of cool. I like it better than last year's shirt,
I
for
like
sure.
the dragon and with all the
Yeah, and
I
again,
like
it has all 3 insignias on it, which
I
is
like I
cool.
like that.
I really like that. It's like giving this sense of finality. Like, yeah, everybody's
This is it.
united. So okay, cool. Same thing as always. You have until the beginning of June to earn this stuff, so There is no excuse this time to not earn your.
Exactly.
Mainly referring to myself because I didn't care enough last year to finish my Moments of Triumph title. There's no excuses this time. You've got 5 months to do it. 7 million deaths are not enough for Master Geralt. As a community, you have to take down 7,777,777 enemies with swords. While we can't pay you in coin, we have something better. How about we make the long-rumored adventurous spirit emblem available to all guardians once you're done? It's a relic of a different time, never available to earn until now. Okay, cool. Please leave Shirochi alone. You won't. That's actually pretty funny. I would fully expect this to be done over the weekend. Destiny players love something that they can cheese.
Oh yeah.
Winning wizard sets. I think this is silly. Last week you helped choose which armor. I didn't even know we could vote on this yet. I don't think I got the email.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Our theme this year is wizards, and because it can't just be any wizards, we ask you to choose between evil and good wizards. 64% of hunters chose evil wizards. Warlocks were more torn with 54% choosing evil wizard, and kind-hearted titans punched the trend with 65% choosing the good wizard. To be honest, I would have voted a good wizard here because we have enough edgy shit in this game. The dark wizards really don't do anything for me. I actually think the hunter one looks like kind of lame, mainly because the hat is going to be a part of my cloak, and I hate that. So I guess we're getting 2 sets of evil and 1 set of good. I think that's really dumb. I really think it should have just been like all evil or all good. Like, because how else does that work? Like, oh, Titans are going to have to watch everyone else have fun with their evil get-ups, and, they look like Albus Dumbledore over here.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense to they should give us the vote for just like it whenever they do these, just give us like either or, not for each class, because then it's like if you like something else and you miss out, you're not like alone in that.
Yeah, I think this is really silly, personally. I'm not a fan. I think that especially when it's like 2 sets that aren't that different ultimately from each other, we should be able to buy one and earn one.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion, but Bungie doesn't want to give things away for free. There's going to be a Game to Give official live stream on February the 1st with the voice actor behind Drifter, Todd Haberkorn. He is going to be a part of that on the Bungie Foundation's Twitch channel. And there will be a special emblem given out during that as a Twitch drop, which is pretty cool. It looks like a pill. But yeah, they've raised over $2 million in less than a week with this campaign, which is wild. That is the fastest that any Game to Give initiative has ever happened. I don't know if that's because like the previously unattainable emblems from past campaigns are now made available again or what, but it is clearly working, whatever they did, which is really cool. I always enjoy supporting charities. And speaking of supporting charities, we actually have a small Tower Casuals one going on right now. Saint took the initiative on this one. For a Game to Give, we have raised as a community, we've raised around $200. A couple days ago, we were at almost 200. I'm not sure if we topped that already. But that is on there in Game to Give. It is under Saint's name, Malachi Powell. I will post the link to Game to Give in the episode description of this episode. But Saint's been really cool about heading that up for us. So shout out to him. I know him, Ronnie, and Aaron have been doing some of that and donating to it. So shout out to you guys for taking the initiative. Corey and I have talked about doing it in the past, and we've never set it up. I feel really awkward, even if it's for charity, asking people for money. Nor were we really in a position to be able to give away prizes if people donated. But Thank God there are smarter and better people than me in this world who are doing this. So yeah, almost $200 is pretty wild. He was doing it under his own name, but said in a message to me he wants to consider it the official Tower Casuals podcast and clan game to give account. So thank you for all that you have done for us, Saints, both for this and what you do in the Discord, helping organize raids and dungeons, and even today, setting up to get some people who have not finished their catalyst for Legend Starcrossed, aka me, getting us set up with events so that we can all run through and do it as a group. So very, very happy about that. Once that's done, we'll report back with our full amount that we raised. But yeah, it's a nice gesture. This is a show in a community about wanting to give back. So I'm glad that we're even able to do a small portion of that, and that our community took the lead on doing that one. So. What else do we have here? Competitive Crucible weekly rewards. In next week's updates, we'll be adding Ascendant Alloys as a new weekly reward to the comp playlist. Upon completing the weekly challenge for the seasonal weapon, a second challenge will unlock offering an Ascendant Alloy as a reward for completing 3 additional matches. Additionally, the first challenge of the season, completing 7 placement matches, will also reward an Ascendant Alloy. So that's cool. Iron Banner is up right now, apparently. I haven't been to the tower yet, so I actually have no idea. Players can choose between Fortress and Control. So I think that's pretty cool. Giving us options about how we want to play. So I'll be playing Iron Banner Control this week. I do like Fortress, but I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of tryhards.
Oh yeah,
I will be. I'll be hanging out in Iron Banner Control this weekend for sure, though. I want to get some in. I got to get that. I got to get the Iron Banana emblem. I got halfway there, maybe 2/3 of the way there, the first Iron Banner of the season, and then just everything kind of went to shit. So I have missed the last couple Iron Banners. I really want to get in there and get that, and start earning some of the weapons from this season too. I wish they were craftable, but I'll take it. I think that about does it for. I think that about does it for the Chwab. The Chwab's like really. They're going to be pretty bare bones, like we've talked about. They're going to be pretty bare for a while. I wouldn't expect anything monumental in the Chwab until we get to at least March. And then we know sometime in April. I assume it's going to be the beginning of April. That first week is kind of what I have circled on my calendar right now. Is when we're supposed to have the next live stream, when they're supposed to show off the final shape again. I've got the second circled right now on my calendar, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I assume that they're gonna wanna do that and then immediately launch Into the Light right after.
That would make sense. Yeah,
it would make sense. They said it would be April before we saw another look at the final shape. And at that point, you're 2 months out. It makes sense to do another showcase then, but that means that we have 2 months of stuff to get through as well before then. Corey's going to be going on vacation, not this next week, but the week after. He'll be gone on the 8th. He'll be out of here. He will be enjoying sunny Florida with his family. And so A1 Johnny is going to join us that week to come in and talk about seasonal weapons and whatnot with me. Been wanting to discuss those now that we've got them crafted and we've been able to use them a lot more. We're gonna sit down and talk about those. But tonight we need to get to the often requested fan favorite topic: bows. We have been asked to talk about bows more than a couple of times. I am not a huge bow fan personally. I understand the merits of them. I just never really have liked how they play in the Destiny sandbox personally. And I think that if you're using them in PvE, you're probably going to Wish Ender. If you're using them in PvP, you're probably using them because you're angry about sniper nerfs, which is why I don't like them. They're unlimited snipers, essentially, especially if you're good at aiming. So, Joe, we've got you here. You are the person that I know who uses bows the absolute most. What is it about bows right now that is making them the must-use thing in the game? Like in any mode, bows just seem to be the go-to. Is it just because of the ammo economy? Is it because of the distance? What is it?
It's so definitely distance because they can drill shit from super far.
Right.
And for me it's like the half of it is like the fun of like using that like precision on like everything. But I think bows really started to come into the limelight back during the Vex Caliber mission when there was that one cheese where you could just kill the final boss like through the shield with Wish Ender because
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
see through walls and stuff with that. And so I think like for me personally that's when I really started using Wish Ender and Trinity Ghoul a ton because the ad clear with Trinity Ghoul is insane and almost effortless, honestly.
The ad clear with Trinity Ghoul has been good for quite a
Oh
while
yeah,
now. Ever since they gave it that
oh yeah.
catalyst, it's been real good.
It,
But I still feel like it was kind of a niche thing.
you basically have to barely even shoot an arrow, and the electric shock kills everything in sight, and it reprocs itself. So you could just run around and just keep on doing that. But the probably the star for me over the past like year, when they added crafting to the Last Wish weapons, Tyranny of Heaven has been a really special weapon for me. I have 8,000 kills on it.
Jesus Christ.
um, and so what I really love, I if anybody ever plays with me, that they know that I mostly I'm just throwing million a million solar grenades. This bow can roll dragonfly and incandescent, so any which way you shoot an enemy, you're making a boom boom.
Right.
And it is not only really good, but it is the most satisfying thing in the universe to like shoot two arrows at a group of thrall and just have all of them combust. It is insanely good.
Yeah, I feel like bows are kind of that thing that we like that the elemental perks have been added to them, like incandescent and volt shot. But I think that they've also taken on kind of a new life in crafting, like with crafting 2.0 and with the new build crafting modes that
Yes.
were introduced with Lightfall. Because it's like our friend A1 Johnny says, exotic bows and exotic trace rifles are cool, but you're really only maximizing them if you're building them into your subclasses.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like now, obviously, it's easier than ever to do that, and especially with like seasonal mods and things like that. Like, there's always going to be, similar to how we have the exotic traces that work. We've got the exotic bows now that are just like, they're good on their own. They're enhanced if you're using aspects of those subclasses. Like the new Wishkeeper bow is definitely enhanced if you're running Strand. If you're not running Strand, it's like it's fine. It's
Oh yeah.
fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can at least suspend with it, which means you're still suspending champs and whatnot, but you're not most oomph out of it.
Yeah.
So Joe, you said you prepared a list for us of your top 5 bows.
Top
Are
top
these
five bows. I'll
are
I'll,
these
I'll be
just
real.
go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna ask, are these just legendary? Are they legendary and exotic? What are we looking at here?
So straight up, I looked at all the bows that I have and use, and 4 of them are exotic. One is legendary. So this is like all bows,
Okay.
not like one specific. Uh,
Got you.
Number 5, we're probably gonna put Wishkeeper just because I haven't quite delved into it yet.
I think
Like
a lot of us are in that because you have to go in
anything
and
like
earn all
those.
the catalysts. You got to play around with them,
Yeah.
recraft it, etc.
Very
It's
cool,
funny.
cool bow though. Cool bow.
Yeah, it's funny because this time last year we were all rushing to do revision 0, but I think it's because we were all hyped up for Lightfall, and
Oh yeah.
now it's like, yeah, we've got 6 months to do this. We're just gonna like chill, which is kind of what I did. Also, when I figured out it was individual quests and you could just stack them all, I was like, oh, I'm only doing this one time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can, as far as I know, you can just do do all 4 of them at once.
You can in fact do them all at once. Yeah.
Yeah, which is good because I think I've only done 1 or 2 of them. I haven't done all 4.
Okay. Hit me with number 4 then. Let's talk about
4.
the ones that you've gotten to use plenty.
We're gonna throw Verglass Curve, the stasis wall bow.
Okay.
It honestly, I had gotten a new appreciation for stasis that I never had fully.
Yeah.
This bow is super fun for like builds that you want to make a ton of stasis crystals for, but like specifically a Titan stasis build, where you're just putting down a ton of stasis crystals and smashing them for AOE damage.
Hmm.
Or I put together like a Vesper of Radius stasis build. This goes great on it. But yeah, that's for 4, and then 3 got Trinity Ghoul, the king.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing
Okay.
much else to say on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think there's much else to say. I think also like it's important to note that when we talk about stasis and strand bows, there's so few options on both of those in the legendary column. They're like the power, like the fantasy that's, and I think that's why I don't like using bows too much, is because like for the power fantasy, you almost have to use the exotic ones because if
Bows
leg,
and glaives are kind of, no,
I
bows
would probably
and
say I would say trace rifles more than glaives.
trace rifles.
Because it's funny.
That
I think glaives have the inverse
that's the one.
problem.
Glaives definitely have the inverse problem.
Yeah. What's your number 3 for me?
3, uh, definitely Trinity Ghoul though.
Wow,
Like,
Trinity Ghoul is number 3. I'm trying to figure out
yep,
what the two. Well, I know Tyranny of Heaven. I'm trying to figure out what the other one above it is.
you know it's the other king, Wishender.
Oh my god, I can't believe Trinity Ghoul is
Wishender's
number
too,
3. Wow,
and Wishender's too.
this is crazy because it's I'll let you finish your top 3, and then I've got some comments to make after that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I started using Wishender heavy for that cheese in that exotic
Yeah.
mission, and then I really realized just like how much damage it pumped out. It does the same thing Arbalest does, but way better. So like it didn't make sense to not use it for a while there. It just does so much damage. It pops a barrier shield in one shot. Like it's just so good, and you could shoot through certain like walls with it too. So it's just such like a useful full bow, but nothing's gonna top. Nothing's topping Tyranny of Heaven. I have used that bow so the most
Hmm.
over the, the past year.
Yeah. So you've already laid out like part of what makes it so good. You know, you can roll incandescent on it. Obviously, you can get the enhanced incandescent, which is a big deal. Um, it's also like I don't know. I guess like the grind to get it is part of it, but Dragonfly incandescent is pretty wild. But it's also
even if you don't crit, you're making a boom. If you crit, you're making a bigger boom. It's just
it also can have golden tricorn on it, which we really like.
That is a perk that I haven't really given a chance yet.
Yeah, it is. Man, yeah, this one came out. It's funny because this was such a meme weapon for years.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like that meme of like the really buff Doge coming in. Like that's how I feel Tyranny of Heaven is to like the other legendary bows.
It's so funny because I was so pissed that this bow sucked because it is one of the coolest, if not the coolest, legendary bows. It looks so cool.
It
Like
looks really
clean
cool.
and it's so cool. And I have been mad for years.
Yeah.
That it sucked. So I was so happy when I tried it, and I'm like, oh, this fucks hard.
If
So good.
it in fact does fuck hard. I'm really happy to see that your list does not include Le Monarch.
Oh,
Can I just say that?
I'm not a AVP.
If we're taking PvP into consideration, I think we should emphasize this is like predominantly a PvE list.
Oh yeah.
If we were considering PvP, I think Le Monarch would probably have to be one or two, frankly.
Yeah. A Monarch is very cool. Just
no matter how many nerfs they give it, it just keeps
it
going.
In fact never heard no bell.
It heard no fucking bell. I mean,
no bell.
That if they ever bring back volatile rounds, God, that
might
filthy.
go hard in PvE.
It's absolutely filthy. That may go that's going to go hard in everything. The other one I was kind of surprised. I'm not surprised. Like Leviathan's Breath is cool, but it's such a niche use heavy for me. I would like to see more weapons that aren't traditionally heavies be heavies. Like I love that we have Leviathan's Breath and that we have Winter Bite for the glaives. I'm waiting for that Traveler cannon so we have a heavy trace
rifle. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait for that. Cool. I hope I carry it around like a chain gun. That just looks so fucking cool.
I want particle deconstruction back because
that's the name of that. I was trying to figure out the name of that perk a couple weeks ago, and it was just on the tip of my tongue, and I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, that fusion rifle season was so much fun. I used to love because 1K was actually kind of a viable damage option.
Yeah,
It was so much fun.
Yeah, I'd like to see more primary weapons, so to speak, be heavy options in the future. Another one I was kind of surprised in terms of exotics that you didn't have was Tikus. I know Tikus is kind of like fallen off a little bit. It's not necessarily a niche use, but I think people used it for so long that they don't want to use it anymore.
My one gripe with Tikus is it shockingly enough it doesn't have solar class synergy. That explosion,
which is really weird for Sunshot the bow.
It if that bow had subclass synergy, it would be insane.
I also think that like the nature of how it works makes it very hard to use in something like PvP.
Yeah.
Especially in something like Trials.
Getting the catalyst, like most of my catalysts that I haven't gotten, I look at the quest and everything else is done except for the kills in PvP.
Yeah, I might sit down and finish a few. The honorable mentions I would have for the legendary bows, ironically, the two that I have used. Under Your Skin, which was Season of the Risen's bow last year. That was probably the best legendary option there for quite a long time. Until Tyranny of Heaven. That was probably your best legendary option, in all frankness.
That was a Void one, correct?
God, was it? I haven't used this.
It was either Void or Kinetic. I think it.
I think it's Void.
Yeah. Yeah. I just bows like
now you got
a
yeah, it's void. It's void. Yeah,
yeah.
I just pulled
Alright,
up like
yeah.
GG. What I think the biggest is the biggest perk on it wasn't necessarily a perk that you can select. It was the origin trait. It was land tank.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the one where you get the damage resistance for each final blow. I think that's what. But you also that was one of the first ones that had successful warm up on it also. So, um, but because it's intrinsically void, you can proc volatile with it. So that's pretty. I think it's pretty cool. Obviously not as good as Tyranny of Heaven. I mean, you have to have a very specific role on it, in my opinion. The other one I like is this one's been around for a long time, but for a while it was about the only good legendary bow. Back when it was a pinnacle, Point of the Stag.
Point of the yeah, that I used to use Point of the Stag in GMs back in the day.
I like that you can get it. I like that you can get it now. It's one of the Cassia weapons, so it's got the wild card trait, which is really cool. It's got so it shoots out the mini Telesto bolts. I think that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the perks you can get on now are definitely better. You can get Archer's Tempo, Golden Tricorn, Shot Swap is on it, Swashbuckler. Like it's fine. I think like in terms of the legendary bows though, like almost any combo that you do on Tyranny of Heaven is going to be the best that you can possibly get, and it's
Yeah.
craftable.
Oh yeah.
It's like
And
that's the thing. Like it's craftable.
craftable.
Like under your skin is, but it's so hard to get those patterns if you didn't get them last year. So, I remember one came out a couple seasons ago. Trident Whistle, the Vanguard one. That one came out, and we were so excited for it, and it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
That one excited me because that was I believe that was like one of the first solar bows that rolled incandescent.
It was, but like listen to this. Like
It just
so,
wasn't that fun, you know what I
column
mean?
one, you can get Archer's Tempo, shoot the loot, surplus, a couple others, and then column two, explosive head, successful warm up, and incandescent. Like all the perks you want are in the second column on this one.
And that is why the fact that you can get Dragonfly and incandescent on Tyranny.
Yeah.
Heaven.
It's fucking
It is
cracked. It's
insane,
cracked.
and it's so good, and it's so much fun too. Like
Even
it's
if Dragonfly like isn't your jam, you can still do explosive head. So like man, Tyranny of Heaven, God, this I have to now make a decision. I want to invest in Tyranny. You got me wanting to try bows again. I want to try like
fun.
for ad clear purposes purely. I kind of want to craft the Tyranny of Heaven, but I really want to finish my Apex Predator also.
I'm telling you.
I'm gonna need Riven to grant me a few more wishes here. Um, man, I still think of bows as like such niche use things, but they've gotten so good in such a quick amount of time. Like really since the Season of the Deep update is when legendary bows became really really good, but also that's when Tyranny of Heaven got the refreshed loot pool. The refreshed perks, that's when the whole raid did actually. God, hard to believe that was only 6 months ago.
It feels like it. We've been using all these for like a year and a half now, but it's only been like a couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing. I know we got a question written in about bows for the first time. I want to say it was like end of September, beginning of October, and we were like, yeah, we're gonna do this. We get closer to the holidays, and then it just like it didn't happen. We had the mass layoffs at
And
Bungie. The holidays
chaos
came up.
ensued.
The delay happened, and we were just like, oh my god, like everything just went into complete disarray. And we finally have the show is finally back on the road, so we don't have to worry about that as much. But man, bows, I guess I get so frustrated with them because the ammo economy is great for PvE. It's horrible in PvP. I hate it so much because it's just unlimited sniper essentially. And I think
Oh
that's the
yeah.
problem that a lot of folks are running into now is especially if you go into like trials, it's bow city out there.
Both
It
City.
used to have to be that we were concerned. Well, I mean, you still have to be concerned about Cloud Strike, but man, bows are in the right hands, especially for PC players. Like bows are just boom, instant. Um, So I think
Almost
that's going to
cheating.
be yeah, that's got to be like one of the great challenges I think going into the final shape is like how do you regulate bows in PvP, because it's making it distinctly unfun for a lot of us who don't like bows or who just like I don't know, like it kind of reminds me of like when hand cannons were all the rage. Like no, hand cannons are still used a lot in PvP, but not as much as they were. Like for like a year or two, they just ran the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what you used if you wanted to be good. Like, and I know everything goes through a cycle, and I'm sure something's going to happen to bows, like even if it's just on the PvP end. But um, I think some kind of regulation's got to happen there in PvP. PvE, let them be as cracked as they want, but PvP, because they act similar to a sniper, I think it's with, and it doesn't matter. The damage output doesn't matter in PvP because like it's like you got 200 hit points essentially.
Yeah.
It just makes it really difficult when you're going up against people, with like infinite sniper essentially. So
Yeah, and it's so easy to just like it's it's one of the easiest weapons to like aim while you move and have
yep,
it still be
yep.
like fully accurate, and it's just like,
Well, I mean,
and
especially
it's like
if you're
you
using stuff like
fire it
Archer's
so
Tempo.
easily too. So it's just yeah, the like ease of use, and like I really don't know how you regulate it without making foes worse. So we're just kind of stuck here, unless you just turn it to like a 3-shot kill or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do about this. I'm very interested. And we'll see what happens. Um, I think that's gonna have to be addressed here fairly soon. Maybe in the big sandbox update that we're gonna get this spring. But I also think they're a little hesitant of addressing it in such a long season, like to make even more people mad.
Yeah,
Because there's gonna I don't think it's necessarily like a lot of folks will be upset, but it's gonna be one of those where like the vocal minority is gonna be so loud about it.
yeah.
If you were to go nerf it and be like, they hate fun, and like, no, they hate things that are cracked. So, all right, Joe, do you have anything else to add on the topic of bows for us? Things that we should be looking out, like we've established that the perks that synergize with your subclass are ones that you want, but like I think like there's some default perks that you can't go wrong with on a bow. That your archer's tempos, your successful warm ups.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and just any perk that has subclass synergy. I love
yeah,
when you can make a bigger boom because the bow has
I
a
love
cool
when you can
synergy.
make a bigger boom. That
I
is
love a bigger boom.
that's the quote of the episode. I love a big boom.
Exactly. Honorable mention as well. The bow in the newest dungeon can roll. I think it can roll slice hatchling, which is really cool because you can sever
Yes.
targets and you can create threadlings.
Yeah, I really haven't heard a whole lot of discussion about the dungeon bow, which is funny because we all saw that combo and we were like, "Oh, damn, that could be really cool." And then just like
I just haven't
nobody
tried
not
it
a
out yet. You know
single
what I mean?
person has
Yeah.
talked about not a single person is talking about any of the dungeon weapons except for like LOL rocket pistol.
The,
Um
the rocket pistol, e- 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 even if it's bad, it's fun as hell.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Even if it's
Um
bad, it's super fun.
let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. We got some questions to get through tonight. We got some thought-provoking questions
Ooh.
tonight. Um I am gonna shift around the order of some of these questions. Tiger Jesus writes in, since seasons are going away, what do you think is going to happen to the helm post final shape?
What do we think is going
Um
to happen to the helm? I think that's hmm.
I would not be shocked at all if the helm gets destroyed in the final shape.
That that would make sense.
I feel like the helm is like going to be our flagship going through the portal.
Yeah.
But I've long said on this show, and I'm maintaining this belief that if post seasons we do go to a new galaxy, which I'm like far less confident on now, given all the things that have changed at Bungie over the last 6 months, I have maintained that I thought that would be the ship that we take, and that would essentially, like, they would expand it, and that would be like our tower, so to speak.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to continue to do seasonal or episodic content on. Yeah, it's funny. I'm like looking at my camera, like I'm recording on my camera. I'm doing air quotes over episodic content. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I think that the whole process of going... I like going to the helm because you can load in so much faster. I just wish I could do more in the helm so I didn't have to go to the tower as much.
Yeah, I kind of wish they
need a bounty
put
kiosk
tower into the helm and just call
they need a bounty kiosk at the very least. I need the bounty kiosk. I need, like, the gunsmith to have a frame up there. I don't know. I need a few things to change. Yeah. So yeah, I think the helm is either getting destroyed or I think it's getting retired. One of the two. I think that it's run its course along with the seasonal content. If episodes are going to be here, and especially if episodes are here to stay, because that's something they haven't clarified on, are episodes going to go away with the next big expansion? Because I don't think you can do that anymore. I think that there's been enough outcry and you have had enough bad press, you need to just start leaving that shit in. Especially if it's
describe it like a standalone story with, like,
they did, and that's what made me that's what makes me concerned, because Curse of Osiris and Warmind were also largely standalone, and they got taken out. So I want to see that content stick around, but I need to know exactly what kind of content we're looking at post Final Shape before, like, I have a definitive answer. It's more than likely it gets destroyed. I actually think that would be kind of cool if when the servers go to shut off for the Final Shape, that like the helm either passes through the portal or, you know, gets destroyed somehow. I think that would be kind of cool.
They do like a live event thing, like
kind of like
they used to do. Yeah.
Well, like when we had the Traveler Awakened, when we saw
and just have like a fucking us jump into the portal and something happens and then the.
So we kind of know. We already know that we fly our ship into the portal. We know from the trailer that we fly our own ship in. I just can't fathom that the fucking helm doesn't follow us in. Like, maybe for some reason, like, Shax stays behind on it. I don't know.
Maybe we get in there and then a subjugator strands up the ships, and they say it's the final tape. It's the final shape. It's stranding time.
Oh my! I fucking hate you. Titan writes in and asks, "What are you guys' personal moments of triumph where you felt like you accomplished something big for yourself this year?" I'm gonna take this to mean not game related. I think for me, it was it's been getting my mental health under control. I've struggled with it for a long time. I've been pretty open with that on this show. Something I've been struggling with long before I met Corey, and I'll probably be struggling with long after this show is over. But I've been going constantly to therapy, and this past year has been really rough. It's been probably the worst year of my life. Short of losing, the ability to walk for 18 months. This has been pretty much like the bleakest 12 months of my life. But I would say, like, not giving in and succumbing to my depression and to my anxiety and very, very poor mental health and mental state. I have found reasons to keep going despite it all. It's a pretty big win in my book. I don't mean to get super heavy, but that's about the only thing worth celebrating in terms of my accomplishments this year, I think. It was a really rough year. It's not great when you lose the only family that you're close to, and then you have a couple other family members nearly die as well. Not great. So hey, 2024 can't possibly be any worse than 23 was. They really threw some haymakers at me those last couple of weeks. But I think that's the important thing I would want everybody to know. It's just like, you're not weak for going and getting help. That's actually, like, one of the hardest things you can do is admit that you need help. That you can admit that, like, hey, something's fucked up in my mind. I need to talk to somebody. I need to get some help. It's not weak to get on medication. It's not weak to see a therapist. If I hadn't done those things, I genuinely don't know if I'd be here. So it's not too late. It's not too late to start. Don't think like, oh, I'm too old to do this, or oh, I'm too young to do this. Like, nope. It is never. You are never too old or too young to go get help. And I encourage you to do it before it's too late. If you have any sort of thoughts like that, you think you're struggling with your mental health, it is okay. Like, we're all pretty fucked up at this point. So, after the last few years.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Joe?
I this year, I've been on a depression and anxiety medication for probably 4.5 years now, and
Yeah.
I was able to work my way off of those this year, which is something
That
I'm
is that laugh was not meant to be
oh
laughing
yeah,
at
no,
you.
no,
Like that's a big accomplishment. I also did this about 4 years ago, and then COVID started 4 months later.
yeah.
Um, after I had lost my health insurance. So yeah, that's contributed to some of my issues these last couple of years.
Yeah.
Oh man, I picked a hell of a time to get off of anxiety and depression medication. But no, that is genuinely a big deal. That's always been my biggest concern around medication is that like I'm gonna have to depend on this for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Seeing a
I just
therapist
really
has
didn't like
changed my life.
how like zombified, like it made my like emotions start to like not mean anything, and like
Right.
that's always like a rough time. And so I've been wor- working my way down, and then I got off of it, and then yeah, I had a few scary financial things occur right after that. So
God.
that wound up being rough, but I'm chilling. I'm doing good.
Yeah, it is man, it is one of the hardest things to do in life, I think, to successfully get off of medication once you've been on it for so long.
It's a leap of faith.
Yeah, it's a leap of faith. It's hard. Um man, if you were able to get off of medication, more power to you. For me, it's been seeing a therapist has been really keeping a lot of it at bay for me. While I'm uninsured. But there are resources out there, like if you need help, and I don't mean to turn this into a soliloquy for mental health, but you know, genuinely, like, it's something that's really close to my heart. Um, it's something I've struggled with for most of my life. I had a lot of shit happen when I was younger that I didn't address, and now I'm trying to address in my early 30s, which is the wrong time to be addressing shit. You should be addressing it a lot earlier in life, and I have never had. Um, that if you think something is wrong, it's time to talk to somebody.
No
Don't
time
just
is
yeah,
the wrong time.
right. So now we've had that tough, difficult conversation. Saint asks us on a lighter note, if you had a Guinness World Record, what would it be in as of right now? I'm gonna say how fast I can schmear a bagel.
Stick with the spread. Silly with the spreads over there.
Oh yeah,
Silly
the
with the
spread
spreads.
is silly over here. It's redonkulous.
Um. Oh, jeez. I wouldn't even know where to start. There's definitely so many things I'm good at. It's hard to choose. Uh, most money wasted on Magic the Gathering cards in a 2 month span. That isn't over $1,000. Boom.
Oh boy. Oh boy, Magic the Gathering. Um
I blame you, Johnny. I
yeah,
blame
well, I
you.
mean we just blame John for everything. Aaron writes in and asks, "What would you say would be the favorite movie and or band of Zavala, Drifter, Eris, Crow, etc.?" We'll just take a few of these. Crow has to be Counting Crows, right?
Oh yeah.
It has to be Counting Crows. That man absolutely loves some late '90s, early 2000s emo.
100%.
I mean, you would think by looking at him that he's probably like an MCR guy, but no man, my dude loves Counting Crows. He likes the duality of the band. One day he's listening to Mr. Jones, the next day he's listening to Long December. It's very wild over here for my guy.
Oh yeah. Drifter gotta be like Red Hot Chili Peppers.
See, I was like thinking like Drifter. I think has to be like some sort of like Finnish death metal.
Or that, yeah.
It's got to be like some fucking obscure band that like maybe 100 people have ever listened to on Spotify, like some underground black metal band or something. I like to imagine that Zavala listens to like Vivaldi all the time. He just listens to like fucking classical music. He's such a prude.
Straight classical music.
Straight classical music while he's sipping his tea and eating a crumpet. Do you know you can buy crumpets in the frozen food section now?
What even is a crumpet?
It's like it's not a cookie, but it's not like a cake. It's like a pastry of some kind.
Like a biscuit hybrid.
Yeah, it's closer to a biscuit probably. It's like a biscuit with like jelly.
I could rock with that.
See, now I got to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's essentially what it is. A crumpet is a small griddle-based bread made from an unsweetened batter of water or milk, flour, and yeast. Popular in the United Kingdom, Canada, New Zealand, South Africa, and Australia. South Africa is just standing there like that meme of what the fuck is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas? That's basically what South Africa is doing for me here. They look similar to English muffins, frankly.
Okay.
But English muffins, I'll put it this way. When you search for crumpets, people also search for scones, picklets, haggis, and spotted dick.
So very UK.
It's extremely UK. Yeah, I legitimately, when I went to the UK, I had tea and crumpets. It was great. That's great. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
That sounds banging, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I felt, I was over there with senior citizens, and I felt like a senior citizen. Favorite movie for Drifter? I think it's like for Drifter, it's got to be low key like a romantic comedy.
Oh yeah.
Like my man loves the scene in Crazy Stupid Love with Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, and Kevin Bacon.
He's definitely seen Nights in Odanthe like.
My man has definitely had a Netflix and chill during Sleepless in Seattle.
The Notebook is in his favorites list.
For Eris, I feel like I feel like they have exact opposite tastes. I feel like Eris is like super into horror movies.
Oh yeah, easy.
I feel like Eris is like, it's funny, like Drifter like talks all this game with like his favorite bands, and then when he actually has to watch like spooky shit, he's like, "Nah, I'm out of here."
Like, I don't want to see this. I have to
like Drifter's like pulling up in like a polka dotted Snuggie. I feel like Ikora likes boring movies. I feel like she's gonna want to watch something. Ikora's
gonna want like intellectual movies. Like
Ikora likes anything that
true crime.
Oh yeah, I could see her liking true crime. I feel like Ikora secretly really likes Heat. Like, and she's like this huge fucking Michael Mann film buff. Anything with like Al Pacino, she's here for.
Oh yeah, like mobster movies.
Zavala only watches documentaries.
Yes, Zavala subscribes to National.
I had a boss when I last worked in an office who watched documentaries on his lunch break every single day at his desk. And he asked me once, because he knew I was a movie buff, he was like, "Hey Josh, have you ever watched any good documentaries?" Like, he's like, I could use some advice. And I was like, buddy, the only documentaries I watch are like Skate and art or like graffiti documentaries. Like this was back when like Exit Through the Gift Shop was a huge deal. Like Banks, everybody thought they knew who Banksy was. I was like, Chief, I own 3 documentaries, or I own like 3 or 4 documentaries. 3 of them are about Dogtown and the Z Boys, and the other one's about Banksy. I'm not the guy you want to ask about documentaries.
I will give terrible advice.
I will give absolutely terrible advice unless you want to know about skateboarding in the 1970s. So, unless you want to watch a whole bunch of backyard clips of Stacy Peralta in a swimming pool, I don't think I'm the kind of person you want to ask.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like if you were to like ask, we'll do like 1 or 2 more of these. I feel like if you were to ask, like Osiris and Saint, I feel like Osiris wants like the like period pieces. He wants to watch like this motherfucker like wants to watch the 4-hour cut of Napoleon or something, and like Saint on the other hand wants to watch Toy Story 3.
Yes, it's like
Saint's like, I love this. Another one. I feel like Saint, I also feel like Saint, like really crude like mid 2000s comedies. Like he probably really loves Pineapple Express and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh yeah. Big
I feel like he secretly loves
like
these.
a McDonald fan.
I also feel like for Drifter, I feel like Drifter is the kind of person who would show you Tremors.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, look at this that I found. Oh man, that would be really funny. I think
Drifter's gonna be the one to show Zavala like
porn.
2 girls, 1 cup.
Jesus Christ. Jesus H. Christ.
That's like the kind of dynamic, dude. You know what I mean?
It's the kind of dynamic. All right. Airmail Addict writes in and asks, if you could insta-fix one gripe you have with Destiny 2, what would it be? That's his first question. God, I think I already addressed it. The fucking bows, dude. Fucking bows. I'm actually going to say this. Make Trials playable, and I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how you do it. Make Trials worth playing.
Yeah.
Make Trials of Osiris worth playing. Also bring everything back from the content vault.
Yeah, I would like the other.
I would like the stuff that I paid for.
Yeah. And I'd also like this is like me personally. I'd like if like they got so much right with Destiny 1 at the end. And like they just
like, but that's the thing is like
everything,
everybody looks at Destiny 1 with like they look at it with rose-colored glasses, and
so I'm talking more like systems.
Yeah.
So like I thoroughly enjoyed that like they had like the multiple difficulty options for like everything.
100%. Like, I agree.
When I'm experiencing like a seasonal story mission, I would like the ability to make it like a bit harder, because like that's just what I enjoy. Like I don't even need like awards to match that. I just want like that 10 the 5-minute mission to be like a 10-minute mission just because it's like a bit harder.
I agree. I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think that also on that there was a lot less going on in Destiny 1 also. So I think that maybe those systems were a little bit better. They also built it with that in mind. I don't understand why you wouldn't take that and carry it over. Like your UX designers wouldn't just like communicate with each other.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think Destiny 2 is far and away the superior game for me.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of the praise that I see for D1, and not what you're doing here, is that I see people really jump on like, oh my god, D1 was so good, and like all the stuff they point out was stuff that was added in the Age of Triumph update at the very end of the life cycle.
Yep.
And I'm like, guys, you understand it wasn't like that for the first 4 years, right?
It was the struggle until
it was a fucking struggle bus. I think a lot of, and I mean genuinely, like a lot of D2 players are too young to remember this. we remember the barren landscape that was Destiny 1 year 1. You know, we had the game drop. We had the Dark Below, and we had House of Wolves, neither of which lit the world on fire.
So
and then
House of Wolves, I
think House of Wolves is fine.
Solid expansion for like a smaller one.
It's fine. It was totally fine for the price point at the time. It was okay. Now I just look at that, I'm like, God, that cost $20. I famously only played them because they came with the Ghost Edition, so I had already paid for them. I might as well play them. The Taken King was it's people say this every expansion, but it's like, yeah, the Taken King really was the first like make or break moment for the franchise. If the Taken King hadn't been good, this franchise gets shut down instantly.
Oh yeah.
And part of the reason Taken King was so good was that was content that was cut from the base game. And so they had a whole year to refine it, to build King's Fall, to build the sleeper stimulant puzzles, things like that. Like they had a whole year to work on this shit. I think everybody forgets that nothing was put into this game until the April update after that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the April update really was a lot of quality of life shit. We really didn't get anything new until Rise of Iron, in all honesty. They thought at the time this was going to be the only thing. They did not think they thought they were going to go straight into Destiny 2 the next year, and they weren't able to. That's why Rise of Iron was done as a stopgap. But man, you look at what the original plan for this game was supposed to be, and it's like, yeah, Activision didn't really grasp what an MMO looks like until it was too late, because it was clear they wanted to have Bungie wanted a base game and just do expansions. Now, I will say, once they started changing all the systems as much as they did, and especially once they felt the need to vault content, we probably should have gone to a Destiny 3 at that point. And I think we can all kind of look at that and be like, yeah, Beyond Light probably should have been the tipping point for that.
Yeah. It does put a sour taste to like.
I will say like Beyond Light probably should have been the one that did that. And like, as long as we could have just like kept all of our exotics, I think that people would have been like, that's fine. Like the old content is still available to play. You can still play with your old vaults and things like that. I think a lot of us would have been more receptive to that, as long as like, oh, you earn the exotics, so you can still carry that shit over. Because I think now the game has reached a point of critical mass, and I mean, we're taking out so much content. We're taking out the seasonal content every year, and we've taken out all the stuff that the content vault. You know, we've lost entire destinations for some fucking reason. Nessus is still around. That's my favorite meme in the community right now. Is why the fuck is Nessus still here? And it's one of those things where I would like to see all the content restored. I really, really, really just want them to. I wish they would just come out and definitively say, but I don't think they can because of their financial situation, definitively say, yeah, the final shape is it for Destiny 2. Even though they keep adamantly saying that it's not, it's getting to a point where it's just so frustrating. I would love for it to be the end, unvault all the shit, and just leave it there. Leave Destiny 2 as it is. But I think they know if they go and do another full price title, no one's buying it.
Yeah.
No one's buying this. Like the faith in Bungie is gone. And I just think for a lot of us, it would be like, oh, well, this is a time to like cut bait and leave, because we've been playing Destiny I've been playing it for 10 years. Destiny came out when I was in college.
Yeah.
This September is 10 years. Like,
we think about every expansion as like kind of like a subsequent-ish game. That's a lot of games. And
I mean, I have bought every expansion at full price.
Oh yeah,
I have spent between that and season passes. I have spent well over $600-700 in this game.
I've even bought a couple on 2 different platforms because
Trust me. Once I get a ROG and I'm on Steam, I'm gonna be buying. I'm gonna at least buy probably the final shape to have on Steam, so that way I can hop in and do like the seasonal content and shit.
Oh yeah,
but it's just. That's a pretty frustrating place to be at, I think. And so that leads into Airmail's second question, which is what needs to happen with the game for you to continue playing D2 post final shape. Honestly, like I would say that you need to make the shift to D3, but it's not going to happen. Destiny 3 is probably like years away if it ever happens. Bungie simply doesn't have the resources to do it at this point for whatever reason. I don't know how you can have a studio that big and not have the resources. Which is another meme I've seen going around lately. Like, yes, there are like 1,200 people that work at Bungie still, but this is a game that continually has new content. I wish they were a bit more efficient with that content. But I think also like having to learn a proprietary engine is not easy. You're having to learn how to code in the Tiger engine. That's why, Marathon not being a part of it is such a big deal. On top of that, they're making Marathon. They have other games in incubation or had other games in incubation. I don't know how many of those still exist outside of the mobile game. I don't know how many still exist. And then you got people who are there for multimedia purposes, and it's just like, yeah, it's not 1,200 people just working on Destiny. Yeah, and if you were to start developing a brand new title, then you have to peel off even more people. I think Destiny 2 probably is it. I don't think we're ever seeing a D3. I don't know what has to happen. Like, I want to see the content that I paid for come back. I think that at this point there's enough players that want to see that content back, or who have come in since it was vaulted with Beyond Light, who'd like to experience it. I think that makes Callus's story more compelling if you can go do those 4 raids that were cut out. I think that you can do. I think doing Scourge of the Past adds to the conflict with the Elixni. I think that
for sure.
being able to add those old campaigns, and we need to know why Osiris is the way he is. Not the fact that we can't go play the missions from Dawn, where we go back in time to save Saint, is egregious. Like those are pivotal, powerful moments. You can't you're going to tell me that we can't have the exorcism of Savathun as like a prologue mission added to the Witch Queen? Like you're really going to tell me that we can't have that added in somehow? I don't see how some of this is just completely tossed by the wayside. Like we're gonna miss some of the missions that are in there now. When the seasons go away, and I'm not saying like a lot of them are like worth keeping, but the whole story of Saladin going to join the Cabal because of Crow's fuck up is gone.
Yeah, that was one of the that was a solid seasons, short and sweet.
I would love to see some of these come back. Like, you can't experience the Elixni invasion and the betrayal of the factions anymore. You can't experience, the whole season that we were fighting with Keitel and got her to join our side. You cannot view in-game the assassination attempt on Zavala and Crow subsequently saving his life. You cannot view one of the most powerful moments in the franchise in-game.
Yeah, it's
and I can say that for like a dozen moments.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
It's not kind of sad. It's kind of pathetic.
That's like the hardest part about getting other people into this game too.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies, I had semi recently gotten him into it, and he had a 5-hour, or he had a super long flight, so he watched one of those the story from Destiny 1 until now, but not everyone has time. So it is so hard to get able to care about the story without just talking, and then they can't even play those to experience them. Just so it's really tough to get able to care about the story when you can't play or view half of it.
And saying, just go watch the cutscene compilations on YouTube is not the answer. We need a theater. We need a theater in game, which I've been beating that drum for forever. And thank God, at least the Witness cutscene is viewable in there.
Yeah.
But there's so many other pivotal moments that need to be shown on that time. That timeline should actually be a way to go view some of the most pivotal cutscenes. But the Red War, you can't even play the Red War campaign in here, which, I know we're doing a bit of revisionist history here, but the Red War was not a bad campaign. You can't play Forsaken, which is universally considered, other than maybe the Witch Queen, the best story that's ever been told in a Destiny expansion, and you can't play a single lick of it other than Last Call.
So my hope, and this is me with completely unrealistic expectations, my hope is that Into the Light, it puts a condensed 8-mission version with a legendary version of the Red War campaign and Forsaken back in. I know it's not going to happen, but that is what I would love if that came back, so that Yoko could just do like a marathon of like all the and it would be cool if they made like a node for the Beyond Light one as well, so that you can just play through like the 8 most important missions or like
Yeah, and Corey and I have talked about that too. Like that's honestly our hope here too, is that we
like a
get
way to just play through all the campaigns.
yeah, just like a way, like cut out some of the filler shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to run around and collect resources on
100
Titan.
blah blah blahs.
Right. I don't need to go around and collect like 15 Dusklight shards or something
Yeah.
like that. Like just let me play the fucking campaigns.
Yeah.
Because that's 4 campaigns you could add back in. Those are raids you can add back in. Like those are destinations. Like there's no reason. And I do wonder if that's like part of their plan, is to be like, hey, we're gonna unvault this shit, because I think we all forget like there was technically a story reason for that. But I think that story reason like starts to fall apart like the closer that we get to the final shape. It's like, so the witness returned Mars to us, and it's because he was looking for something. If I was the witness, the second I didn't find it, I'd be like, fuck you, it's back in darkness.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so you took away
But not
Titan,
all
which
of
we've
them.
now gone back to. Titan's been returned to us. Like, okay, so Titan and Mars are technically back. Can we get the content on those back? Really, now we're just missing Mercury and Io.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure we were going to get Io back at some point this year.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sorely disappointed we didn't. I think Io also had so many strikes tied to it. Io, and like for some reason the Tangled Shore was taken out of the game also, question mark. Kind of forgot about that one, that it was low key taken out this year.
Yeah.
This year or last year, whatever it was.
Like more recently than the rest of it was. It's
Yeah.
like and they took out the Forsaken campaign and that happened, I think.
Yeah, I'm very curious what they end up doing with Into the Light. I hope that Into the Light is good, but I'm not going to hold my breath. We have 2 final questions for us. We're going to go Jiggly Panda. We're going to get out of the Destiny questions now. This is why I wanted to save these for last. Jiggly Panda writes in and asks, what are your thoughts on the Suicide Squad game coming out in a couple weeks? It looks terrible.
My thoughts are I don't have thoughts on it.
My thoughts are I would never pay $70 for this game, and I will fucking judge you if you do.
I saw a screen cap of what the UI looked like. And
the UI looks awful.
It was a hot
they broke the glass in case of emergency, and pulled the Joker lever. If you didn't see, Joker's going to be the first DLC character added.
Yeah.
Joker, Mrs. Freeze, and Deathstroke are going to be added. And I'm like, awesome. Your game still sucks. I don't want to fight the Justice League. I don't care about fighting Brainiac as the Suicide. Like, stop trying to make the Suicide Squad happen. This is WB's attempt to try and
so many times.
After 10 years, they're still chasing the popularity of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is hilarious to me. Then they just can't accept that Guardians have outclassed them in every single medium.
Every time they've tried to iterate the Suicide Squad, it's just never worked well.
Between them and between Suicide Squad and Guardians, the comics are better for Guardians. The animated content is better for Guardians. The game, the Guardians of the Galaxy game, is an award-winning fucking game, by the way.
Yeah.
The
movies are.
The movies aren't even a question.
Yeah, all of them have.
We got a holiday special with Kevin Bacon in it.
Yeah.
Like, it's better than David Ayer's damaged Joker. God, man, it's such a catastrophe. I think this game looks like hot ass. It looks terrible. That's all I have to say. But this game looks fucking awful. It's gonna sell purely because it's a DC game and because it's Rocksteady making it. But this game is gonna get dropped so fast. Do you think it'll be good or fail just like Avengers? I want to be really clear. Avengers was not a bad game story-wise. The story was good. The rest of it was terrible. There should never have been a live service Avengers game. And considering that game came out 4 years ago, Rocksteady should have seen how that was received and gone, oh no, and pivoted, but they didn't.
Yeah. Avengers, like you said, story was decent. Gameplay was just kind of bland.
And
That's
like
what I'm feeling is gonna happen here. Is gameplay, it already looked bland. I don't know if that was a real screen cap or not, but the UI looked ass. So
it looks
that
ass. It looks
UI,
so bad.
I have no hope or no faith in that game.
No faith whatsoever.
No faith at
So
all.
yeah, I think this is bad. So the final question for Jiggly Panda. Is it too soon to ask questions about Pal World? I want to get you guys' thoughts on the game and all the stuff surrounding it. Corey and I gave a pretty long take on this on Xbox Casuals this past week. I would kind of direct you there. I don't really have anything to add to this. I'm not going to be playing Pal World. One, I'm just not interested in it. It's a lot for me to get interested in monster hunting games. Like Pokemon has really struggled to keep my attention span since I stopped being 11.
Yeah.
But like in a non-snarky way, just games like that don't really draw my attention. More than that, I do have some concerns about the use of AI with the game and the fact that all the games that this company makes look like direct knockoffs of other games, including Breath of the Wild and Hollow Knight. So I do have a problem with that. I have a problem with it, just their very cavalier thoughts on AI. Not a fan of that. I personally won't support a studio that's like that. That's why I'm kind of in a tricky place with games right now because like there's so many studios that are having the same thoughts. Like Square Enix is kind of towing that same line. Square Enix's embracing of like Web3 and NFTs has not been great to me. But they're not forcing it on me just yet. A company like this is kind of forcing on it, and it's a little alarming to me that it's sold like 6 million copies so far. With that taken into consideration, that being said, I'm absolutely here to see. I'm not here to be like, oh, like I'm not here to, dive in front of Nintendo, to dive in front of the Pal World bullet. I think the best thing that can possibly come from this is probably that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company take this seriously and are like, oh, so people want
Shut that shit. Oh yeah,
they want better
make like a
mechanics.
real one. Yeah.
Yeah, they want real mechanics. But that's the thing is like, okay, this is like the first real competitor to like Pokemon that there's been in a long time, and I would still hesitate to call Pal World a true competitor because Pokemon games sell 20 million copies without even breaking a sweat. Even the worst Pokemon games are still the best selling ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that's not going to change because people aren't going to stop buying them. Like, kids are still going to buy them no matter what. Families are still going to buy them no matter what. The fanboys are still going to buy them. Again, say it with me, no matter what. So, it comes to that point where, like, if you're enjoying Pal World, I'm absolutely not judging you for it. I don't really care personally. I personally, I'm not going to partake in the game. That's all.
Yeah, I've seen like a few clips and a few little screenshots, but like I said, I've been consumed with Baldur's Gate specifically for the past like 2 or 3 weeks. I really haven't touched anything else, so I haven't even played it yet.
For sure.
But like that style of game, I'm always cool with. I love open world games with shit to do. It looks cool, but yeah, I don't know how much I love like the like blatant copy of it's a fairly blatant copy of like art styles for some of the characters, like that they straight up look like
My other thing like about that is, and I'm not saying you're wrong because there definitely are similarities with some of these. There's like 900 Pokemon. It's a little hard not to copy some of those at this point.
That's true.
I think it's really silly. I just the discourse around this entire game, like, just go away.
Yeah.
So all right. I think that's gonna do it for us tonight, Joe. I think we're about done. I think we're about ready to get out of here.
All right.
Pretty short, sweet and to the point episode tonight with just the two of us. But Corey will be returning next week. I don't know yet what we're going to talk about next week. We'll figure it out for you this week. I do want to do some extended lore corners as we get in. I regret I do not have one pulled up for you guys tonight. I had it planned last week, and then, well, my bookmarks decided to reset themselves. So I'm gonna work on some lore corners. So maybe we can do some catch up ones. We can do a handful of them. I did promise that we would read about Wishkeeper, and we do some of the story around Tyrannus. So I do some research and do some reading into the seasonal lore now that I have it all unlocked, so that if we can discuss some of that as well. Joe, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Where can the people find you, and do you have anything you want to promote?
I'm on X. I think the
God
kids are
damn it.
calling it nowadays. Joasis. I do music occasionally. Joasis on all streaming services. And that's basically it.
All right. Well, that being said, of course, you guys can find Corey and I still, well, at least me, still on Twitter at Josh_Finn 2Ns. Corey's hanging out over on Threads these days and Instagram.
Threads.
I am Corey in HD. Again, he'll be back with us next week. Join the Discord, be a part of the show. We've got some fun things going on. We had a Christmas cookie baking contest over the holidays, which I want to make sure I get this correct. I meant to read it off earlier. Nox won it. Nadiki came in second place. I really did love that Nadiki made a tin to go with them too. I thought that was really cool. Strange coin themed cookies. Nox's though, man, let me tell you, those absolutely look like some space cookies. I'm here for it. They look like some space cookies. They look cool. On top of that, we are going to be doing a server-wide dungeon crawl coming up pretty soon. That is going to be happening February the 17th through the 18th, if I have the dates correct. So definitely come jump in and be a part of that. That's going to be a pretty fun time. That's going to be Saturday, February 17th is when that's going to start. We've got a few teams signed up already. Hopefully we get a couple more full teams going here. Otherwise, we're just going to have to give it to Ronnie, Aaron, and Saint right off the bat, which I do not like the idea of doing. No offense to you guys.
Me and Fox are going to go in as a two-man team.
Get in there and sign up then, damn it.
Memes.
Sign up, damn it.
For the memes.
Sign
two-man
up.
Team.
Sign up. But anyways, the dungeon crawl is going to have some various rules associated with it. That ought to be a pretty fun time. I'm wanting to get some footage and maybe narrate over it. I joked that I would love to get like a TV next to me, and I'd love to be like, I'm gonna like dress in khakis and like a button down with a tie and be like pointing at it like I'm fucking Steve Kornacki on election night. But the logistics of that in my apartment are not possible.
Red Zone style thing up with like 8 screens up.
Yeah, like I need like a basement to be able to set this up in. Just for shits and giggles, but it's not going to happen in an apartment. We joked that I was going to do a Wheel of Torture at one point, but also the logistics behind that is just not possible. So check that out. We got some fun things going on. I'm gonna try and get some things together as we get closer to the final shape. Do maybe some more emblem giveaways, and I don't know. We are fast approaching episode 200 though. We are about 18 episodes away, I believe, as of tonight. So that's going to be coming up on us by early mid-May, somewhere in there. Right around the time of the final shape, we're going to be hitting episode 200, which pretty big deal for any podcast. So we're gonna work on getting a celebration together for that. Of course, like we said last week, if you guys have any, and I mean any, ideas on things that you would like to hear us talk about over the next couple of weeks, please write them in either in the Discord. You can message them to Corey or I. You can email us, towercasuals@gmail.com. That's my whole spiel. Just, let us know what you guys want to hear. Any lore topics you guys want to hear, I'd be totally down to talk some lore. Of course, we're going to have John here in 2 weeks for talk about loadouts and weapons with us for the season. He already joined me to talk about the dungeon weapons, where we famously said that one of them was not worth getting, and then found out it was actually really good as soon as we got off the air.
Absolutely worth getting.
So, yeah. Anyways, Joe, thank you again for your time. And everybody else, we will see you guys Starside. Thank you.